Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. One of the things we was talking about, one of our recent meetings with our team for quality service, was dedicating some time to going live. And one of the things that I was thinking about was, okay, well, when do we want to go live? When's a good time to go live? I say Sunday's a great day. Sunday's a great day because Monday gets a bad rap. People like to treat Monday like it's the redheaded stepchild, but it's actually the best day of the week. So if we can get a message to them on Sunday, especially for those that really dread waking up on Monday, really dread starting a new week, you can start off on a good foot. Hopefully we can get a message to you before you start your week off and kind of help boost you up. I remember I used to work at this job, and every Monday it was miserable. Employees would come to work, oh, it's Monday. Customers would come in, how you doing? It's Monday. And everybody just had a bad attitude with Monday. And I said, you know what? I want to reframe how I think about Monday. I want to make Monday the best day of the week. Instead of waiting for Thursday or Friday, you get paid on Friday. You already work Friday, so the day is already gone most of the time. You get one good day on Saturday. Sunday, you getting ready to reset for the week again. So if we live for the weekend, we only really enjoying 30% of our life. So I hope y'all having a blessed Sunday. We had one of our What's Your Superpower workshops yesterday. Great turnout. My key objective is to make sure that when people come in, they leave with more than they came in with. More knowledge, more wisdom, something that they can apply to their personal journey. And while our program is called Operation Overcome, and how it is that we can overcome any obstacle in our life, you can't even move towards the mountain if you don't understand the fuel that you have in your vehicle. If you don't understand the fuel that it's going to require for you to get to the mountaintop. So we start with that superpower. So it was a good turnout. We actually are about to kick off our It Takes Heart campaign, which I'll be sending more details, which is one of the reasons why I'm getting my Sunday run on. It Takes Heart campaign, raising funds for the American Heart Association in conjunction with the Cleveland Marathon. This will be my 5th year, not consecutive, running in the Cleveland Marathon. And this year, I decided that I wanted to contribute to a cause that was near and dear to my heart. Losing my loved ones, mother, father, sister, brother, in some shape, form, or fashion to a heart-related illness. Every time I run, every time I work out, I do so with them in mind. They're always in my spirit when I'm doing my workouts, because being 500 plus pounds, I didn't really think that I would live to see a certain age. And the Lord kept waking me up. So I said, let me treat this vessel a little better. Let me treat my heart a little better. Let me treat my life a little better. Let me treat my mind a little better, my finances a little better. So this year we want to raise funds for the American Heart Association. So we'll be putting out information about that with our team. It Takes Heart. So if you want to run with us or walk with us, 5K, 10K, if you want to do the half, if you want to do the full marathon, I'm not. But if you want to, we'll be sending out the information this week and really advocating so that we can raise funds to kind of save one life at a time through that American Heart Association fundraiser that we're doing. I'm cooling down, about to wrap up. But I wanted to share this word with you. This phrase has become a lot more popular over the last 4 to 5 years. But when I was at school, my last year at Bowling Green, 2013, one of my favorite college professors was Gene Poor. And Gene Poor taught entrepreneurship. I was a psychology major, but I love business. And I wanted to take a class, I wanted to take several classes that focused on business, right? Before I even went to school, I was business oriented. dealing with music business, and I wanted to take more classes. And Gene Poor, one of the best classes I ever took. If you went to Bowling Green State University, you may be familiar with Gene, especially if you did business. If you know where Gene is at, I would love to talk to him. I try to go down to the campus. I know he retired recently. But anyways, the message that he used to always share was fail sooner. I know that's real popular now. But when I was in college, I'm like, fail sooner? Why do I want to fail sooner? Now, failing is inevitable. But at that time, it's like, no, I'm trying to succeed. But his logic was, the faster you fail, the faster you can learn what it takes to move forward and get success. If you do 100 things wrong, then you got a much higher probability of the 101 being the correct thing that you have to do. So how fast do you need to get through those versus 100 wrongs and you're spending years because you're afraid of failure? Now you never get to 101. As I thought about that, one of the things that stood out to me after I had lost my loved ones, and I was really at a crossroad, I'm like, damn, where would I be if they were still here? And what appeared to me, it was my mother's voice. It came to me and it said, do you know where you would be if certain things never happened to you? And I thought about it. Do I know where I would be if certain things never happened to me? Well, I would probably be here. I would probably be doing this. I'd probably be here. And after I wrestled with my own thoughts for a few minutes, I said, you know what? Those are all probabilities. You don't know where you would be if certain things never happened to you. You can speculate, but you don't know. After that, the voice said, but you do know where you are because certain things did happen to you. And a light bulb went off in my head. You don't know where you would be if certain things didn't happen, but you do know where you are because certain things did happen. There's certain falls that I took. There's certain defeats that I had to go through. But going through those ordeals taught me so much. I would even say that the defeats and the failures that I faced taught me more than a lot of the successes in my life did. I can definitely say that whether you want to consider it a loss, failure, I wouldn't consider it a failure, but it's definitely a loss, losing loved ones, gaining weight, having heart issues, losing friends, gaining friends. I think there's a lot to be learned from our defeats. And I'll tell you why I'm using defeat versus failure in a moment. But there's a lot that can be learned from our failures / defeat. So we have to do it faster. So one of the things that I started to do, and I will give you this tip, this piece of advice. Who are the people that you admire? They can be on a personal level. They can be on a professional level. You don't have to have ever met them. It could be somebody successful. But I want you to analyze it. Think about your top 5. Mix it up. Personal, professional. Who are people that you admire, you look up to? You love the way that they operate. You love the way that they run their business, run their family, the way that they handle their finances, whatever it may be, their spirit, their peace, their grace, whatever that is about them that makes them so admirable. I want you to make a list of the 5. Now, once you have your list of the 5, I want you to study their failures. If you have the ability to ask them, ask them. If you really want to challenge yourself and they're successful, famous, you've never met them, find a creative way to reach out to at least one. People love to talk about themselves. And your chances of getting to interact with them is absolutely 0 if you never reach out. So give it a shot. But the ones that you do know, whether you know them or not, you should be able to find their failures. Because if someone is truly admirable, then there's a certain level of transparency to them as well. Regardless of their field, regardless of what they do. There's a certain level of transparency that comes with somebody that we admire. So their failure shouldn't be hidden in the dark where all you see is perfection. That's not admirable. How can I admire somebody who considers himself to be perfect? But I want you to look at them and I want you to study their failures. Study their failures more than you study their successes. How can you improve upon those? How can you learn from those? How can you take those failures and avoid having to go through some of the same pitfalls that they had to go through? Maybe you're in a similar line of work. How can you take that concept and improve upon it and cut down on some of the failures that they had? There's a popular YouTube video, highly recommended. You may be thinking, that's like borrowing, that's like taking. The video is called Everything's a Remix. It's a 4-part series. It goes through the history of how so many different inventions were borrowed from another. The Macintosh, Apple. It talks about how Star Wars, one of the biggest movie franchises in history, borrowed from so many different movies, Westerns to be specific, in order to create its concept. It took what it loved from the Westerns and they built upon it and put it into a completely different genre, being sci-fi. So think about those that you admire, your top 5. What are their failures? Do you have some of those in common? Even the successes. Maybe there's a way that they've been able to navigate those. Talk with them, especially if there's somebody that you know in person, because they're like clumsy jewelers. They're always dropping gems somewhere around, especially those who are older than us, wiser than us, more seasoned than us. I call them clumsy jewelers, because if you listen long enough, they're going to drop a gem. They're going to drop something around you that can be beneficial. Think about your own defeats. Think about your own failures that you saw in your life. Do you know where you would be if you never succumbed to that failure? Do you know where you would be if that failure never happened? No, you don't. You can speculate. You can speculate on where you would be if those failures never happened. But truth be told, you don't know where you would be if those failures never happened. So what can you learn from them? What can you take from those experiences to, 1, propel you and move you forward, but 2, to help you from repeating the same scenario over and over again? One thing my pops used to always harp on when I was a kid, whenever I did something wrong, he would always ask me, why did you do that? It was so annoying. Why did you do that? Every single time. Why did you do that? And of course, me being young, ignorant, dumb, saying, I don't know. That was the wrong answer. But he was telling me, he would always tell me afterwards, he said, if you don't know why you did something, then you're going to repeat it. If you don't know what triggered you, if you don't know what the reason was behind why you did an action, then you will repeat the action again. So when it comes to our failures and our defeats, we have to consider, what was it that made me suffer that defeat? What was it that made me suffer from that failure? It's a homework assignment. Now, the reason why I said I'm going to end with this one, the reason why I consider failure and defeat different, because they have different outcomes. When I can think about failure, failure is something where we don't see success, but even more importantly, we don't learn from that situation. It's a failure. If I get into a situation, or if I have a business deal that goes wrong, or if I have a relationship that ends, or anything where I did not win, I did not get the desired outcome that I desired. Well, I didn't get the desired outcome. That's a failure if I didn't learn from that experience. So oftentimes, I'll see a lot more defeat than I'll see failure, because now I make it my duty to learn from the situation. I make it my duty, whenever there's something that goes wrong, whenever there's an obstacle, I always try to make it my duty to find a learning lesson within it. I actually try to do it faster, a lot faster. So even if it's a situation where I may be having a conversation, my wife, a friend, business associate, where we didn't see eye to eye, that's a defeat if we can't get to an agreement, right? But what can I take away from that that's applicable? What can I learn about myself that I can do better next time? We had a goal in our business, certain sales goal. Okay, we did not hit that sales goal. But what can I learn from that experience to do better? We didn't win this game. We had a game. What do they do after they win after a game? Loses. They replay. There's a huddle. After my event yesterday, within an hour, I wasn't so much concerned about what we did right at the event. I was more concerned about areas of opportunity that we can improve. Within an hour, I want to know. We did certain things good, that's great, but I don't want to harp on what we did good. Let's just rinse and repeat it. I'm more focused on how can we improve this? How can we make this a better experience for the end user? How can we make sure that everything runs smooth, seamless? What are those areas that we felt we were defeated in that we can learn upon and doing better next time? How can you fail faster? How can you see it sooner? Because here's the thing, Monday's right around the corner. It'll be here in less than 24 hours. And some of you may be dreading walking into this new day. I want you to think about, how can I get this defeat out of my system before Monday even rolls around? For those who feel like Monday is a crapshoot, Monday's the worst day of the week, what is it about Monday that makes Monday so bad? Maybe you can get it out of the way before Sunday's even over. That way you can get the most out of your week. Because you got Monday. Think about it. If Monday is the best day of the week, you set the tone. It's a new week. Technically, Sunday starts a new week, but in business world, Monday's that first day of the week. You're setting the tone for the rest of the week. It's not Friday. If you want to have a great day, you got to start thinking about it now. If you want to have a great week, you have to start processing that now, before your mind is in wind down, reset mode. This time of day, we're almost in that Monday's here mode. What is it about Monday that's going to be trash? Get it out the way. Face it now. Fail faster. Get it done before the day even comes. Because you've seen countless Mondays in your lifetime. But tomorrow, it ain't never seen you. This day we about to have tomorrow, it ain't never seen you before. Have confidence in that. Have confidence in knowing that you faced days before. Be confident in knowing that you faced adversity before. Be confident in facing the new day. Because Monday sets the tone. Tuesday gets you in the rhythm. Wednesday, they say that's hump day. Thursday, I'm kicking ass. I'm running on all cylinders. Friday, it's too good. I don't even want the week to be over. Saturday, it's time to reset. But one day at a time. That's the main thing. How can you fail faster? Think about the people that you admire. Top 5. Write a list. Write it down. Don't just think about it. Write it down. What were some of their failures? If you really want to get into the weeds, study their failures that you don't see on paper. If there's somebody in business that you admire, how did they fail behind the scenes? If it's somebody that you admire behind the scenes, a family walk, what was the area that they struggled in? Be all around well-rounded. How can we improve? But I'm gone. This Sunday service, I'm about to wrap this up and go ahead and reset for the rest of the week. Salute.